dugsiga boardingka iyo maalinlaha ah ee Amano Boarding and Day School.
How are you, grade 8 and everyone watching? Welcome to our social studies lesson. Today we shall be looking at the organs of the United Nations. And under the United Nations, in our last lesson, our previous lesson, we looked at the organs, the various organs. There were 5 organs of the United Nations organization. And the topmost organ was the General Assembly, followed by the Security Council, the Secretariat. We looked at the International Court of Justice. We also looked at trusteeship. We looked at the last organ, which is about the council that deals with social and economic matters. Now, we looked at all those. I remember we discussed about them. We discussed the Security Council, we discussed the Secretariat, and even the International Court of Justice. Today, we shall be looking at the last organ of the United Nations organization, which is the Social and Economic Council. Now, when you talk about the Social and Economic Council, from the word economic, it means that this is an organ. Remember, the United Nations has got 5 branches. The last branch or organ is the Social and Economic Council. This one here deals with the development and the well-being of all the nations, all the 195 nations of the world. So it actually comes in to help whenever there is need. Now, what are some of the bodies or organizations that are under the Social and Economic Council? And that means that by the end of our lesson today, as a student watching this video, you should be able to name some of the organizations that fall under the Social and Economic Council, and most importantly, their headquarters, where they are located. We shall go straight to here. The Social and Economic Council is an organ of the United Nations that organizes various projects. That means it deals with development. So various projects. These projects are development projects that it deals with. Now, when we talk about that, we say that they are responsible for health, education, and even cultural growth and development. So they are actually dealing with various aspects of development, whether it is culture, whether it is social, economic, and even education. Various aspects. They help countries to develop. The Social and Economic Council has the following bodies. Bodies are like organizations, very large organizations. The first one is the International Labour Organization, ILO or ILO. What does it deal with? From the word labor, we all know from the word labor, it means that this organization here deals with workers, people who work. It ensures that they have good working conditions. It ensures that employers treat their workers very well. It ensures that all the problems that are related to workers are solved and workers are helped. Where are the headquarters of ILO or International Labour Organization? The headquarters of ILO are in Geneva, which is the capital city of Switzerland in Europe. The next body that we shall be looking at here is Food and Agriculture Organization, commonly known as FAO or FAO. And therefore, this one here helps to stop famine in the world by developing food farming methods and tools. Famine is where there is a situation where there is no food or hunger. So it stops famine. And how does it stop famine? It ensures that there is sufficient food. There is enough food in the world to feed all the population of the world. Remember, the world has more than 7.5 billion people. So FAO, or Food and Agriculture Organization, ensures that there is enough food in the whole world to feed the population of the world. And where are the headquarters of Food and Agriculture Organization? The headquarters are in Rome. Rome is in Italy. Moving to the next. Number 3 is the World Health Organization, WHO. Right now, we are in the middle of a crisis, a pandemic. This pandemic here is where the COVID-19 disease has really affected the whole world. And an organization of the United Nations which is helping people, informing people, giving people information about this disease and the virus that causes it is the WHO. Now, here it helps to control diseases. It helps to control diseases, and as it helps to control diseases, it improves the standards of health of all the people of the world. The headquarters of WHO is Geneva, Switzerland. Therefore, you have seen that the headquarters of ILO, International Labour Organization, is in Geneva, Switzerland, and also the headquarters of World Health Organization, WHO, is also in Geneva, Switzerland. Moving to the next class, we have United Nations Environmental Program, commonly known as UNEP, UNEP. Now, here it promotes world cooperation on environment matters. Basically, it helps to conserve the environment. It educates the whole world on the importance, on the need to conserve the environment, on the need to have a good environment. And therefore, here, it helps in the conservation of the natural environment. The headquarters of the UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program, are in Nairobi, Kenya. Therefore, here, one thing that is important for you to learn for the sake of your exam and general knowledge is the headquarters of UNEP, which are in Nairobi, Kenya. Very important for you to know that. So UNEP, in short, is United Nations Environmental Program. Good. Moving to the next, we shall look at something else. The World Bank. World Bank is WB, and when we talk about bank, we know what it does, what a bank does. A bank is responsible for ensuring that there is enough money and money is circulating among people to ensure that the economy of a country or all the countries of the United Nations are developed. It especially gives loans, it gives help, financial help in terms of money to countries which are still developing. These countries are particularly African countries that are still developing, Southern America, and even Asian countries that are still developing. So those kind of financial needs are normally met by the World Bank. And therefore here, just for the sake of it, see, it funds projects. To fund meaning that it gives it gives money for the projects in developing countries by giving them loans. They give some money you use for your project, maybe to build roads or to build schools. Then when you start getting money, you'll have to pay them back. That's a loan. The headquarters of the World Bank, where is it? The headquarters of the World Bank are in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the USA. So it is in Washington, D.C., USA. Good. Moving forward, here we have the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. I think that's what we want to look at as our last organ. Now, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, the key word here that we are concerned with is refugees. Who are refugees? Refugees are people who are usually affected by war. Whenever there's war in a country and people fight, there are those who cannot help themselves. They will have to run for their safety. Now, when they run away, they will actually, as they flee war, they find themselves in other countries. Now, these people who flee or who run away from war are the people we call refugees. Now, who helps them? Well, you know the answer now. The United Nations High Commission for Refugees. It is responsible for protecting all the refugees who are found in the world. It provides them with the basic human needs. The basic human needs, we know them. We can be able to state them. These are food, shelter and clothing. So they are responsible for giving those needs to the refugees. And the headquarters for the UNHCR are in Geneva, Switzerland. Good. Now, class, we shall go through again what we've just learned. We've looked at the organs of the Social and Economic Council. Now, Social and Economic Council is an organ of the United Nations, and in it is like now a big umbrella where now in it we have very many organizations. These organizations include the International Labour Organization. The headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland. It includes the World Bank. The headquarters are in Washington, D.C., in the US. It deals with giving people loans. We also have the Food and Agriculture Organization, good, whose headquarters are in Rome, Italy. Now, Food and Agriculture Organization, already in our lesson, we've said that it ensures that there is no famine. It ensures that there is sufficient food in the world. We also have looked at the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. It helps people who run away from war. It ensures that they get their basic needs, which are now food, shelter, and clothing. Good. With all that, we mark the end of our lesson, and at the end of this lesson, there will be notes for you and homework. You know how to get the homework. Initially, we told you that you have to log on to the website of the school. Then from there, you will be able to sign in with your username and get the homework together with the notes. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time.